This is Dumbarton Rock and Castle, a formidable fortification and in use since the Iron Age. However, in 1603 it was held by the supporters of Mary Queen of Scots, including John Hamilton, the Archbishop of St Andrews. Thomas Crawford, originally of Kilburney Place and later of Jordan Hill, decided that the castle should be taken for the adherence to Mary's son, James VI of Scotland, later James I of England and Wales. Thomas Crawford was supported by John Cunningham of Mastle and Captain Hume. They had 150 men. They decided to take the castle using an escalade, that is, by using ladders. The defenders of the castle had already improved the fortifications by using stone from demolished churches in the nearby towns and villages. They attacked from the northeast, which may be this corner just here. So at first they attached the ladders. They found they weren't very secure, and they were lucky that they weren't spotted by the defenders with the noise they were making. They tried a second time using iron pegs, and that was successful. So it said that they managed to get to the first level where there was an ash tree, and using the ash tree they pulled up the ladders. For the final section, they placed the ladders once again using metal spikes, whether one of the soldiers panicked and in his terror wouldn't let go of the ladder at all. It stopped the other soldiers from climbing up to the top. So Thomas's idea was simply to turn the ladder round, strap the soldier to the ladder, and then climb up across him in that fashion. 2 or 3 of the attackers managed to get to the top. Well, once they climbed over, they were then attacked by the defenders, but fortunately the wall was very insecure and it collapsed, at which point the other attackers managed to get through. They turned one of the cannon on the defenders, who then very quickly gave up and left. Thomas Crawford and his colleagues hadn't left anything to chance. They had sent ahead troops to clear the way to make sure that none of the supporters could inform the defenders of the castle of their approach. Also, they were in luck in that Warden Robertson, whose wife had been accused of theft, had been publicly flogged under the instructions of the governor of the castle, gave them valuable information about the defences, which helped them with their attack. The year of the attack was 1571. At that time the fortifications were very different here. The escalade was used on the section that was the highest part of the castle rock. This is the section of the castle into which Thomas Crawford and his men were able to break in, with the old wall having partly collapsed. They turned a cannon on the defenders, upon which most of them fled. When they broke into the castle, their battle cry was "A Darnley, a Darnley." The governor managed to escape by boat. However, he left his wife behind. She was released, though. The Archbishop of St Andrews was kept here as prisoner. Eventually he was executed. This is the southwest side of the castle. The slope here is much less than the northeast. So you can see how they might expect to be attacked from this side. It would have been well defended, whilst the other side would have been lightly guarded at most. Thomas Crawford had come from Kilburney. Burney Place in North Ayrshire. He was a good and trusted friend of Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley, that is the husband of Mary Queen of Scots, the first husband. He'd fought at the Battle of Pinkie, but he'd been captured and eventually he was ransomed. After that he went to France, fought for the French, in fact accompanied Mary Queen of Scots back to Scotland to take her crown. So at one time he was a great supporter. After his friend Darnley's murder, he was one of the foremost in accusing those he thought responsible. Thomas Crawford lived in his later years at Jordan Hill, though he's actually buried in the Kilbirnie churchyard in a magnificent tomb with his wife, who was one of the Cares of Caresland. He became Provost of Glasgow, and another claim to fame is that at the time of John Knox, they wished to pull down Glasgow Cathedral, but he persuaded them they should leave it alone until they built themselves a new church, and that secured its future.